don't love me, love. You don't love, love. You don't love me, love. You don't love, love. You don't love me, love. You don't love, love. You don't love me, love. You don't love, love. You don't love me, love. You don't love, love. You don't love me, love. You don't love, love. I don't wanna be crazy. I don't wanna be crazy.
Hello, welcome to D7RTV, and guess what? We have 1,000 subscribers. Thank you. We reached it last night. Obviously, I'm doing something right. I'm sort of elated, but I wasn't sure of what to expect. And a bit like big birthdays, nothing really happens. It's just another day. But you're not here to celebrate with me. You're here to see some more on the Kangoo. Well, in the last episode, you saw us fitting the anti-lock braking system. We did the fueling from the front, and we changed and upgraded the brakes and refurbished them. So in this episode, what are we going to be doing? It gets a little bit harder from now because there's going to be quite a lot of wiring, etc. But this is almost ready to get an engine in. I've got to put a loom in first, which is the one for the ABS and like the lights and stuff. And maybe I'll put the engine loom on the engine. Let's just get into it. I'm in the engine bay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the scuttle panel because I want to figure out where this wiring loom goes, because I need to pull it out of here and get it ready for the Clio loom to drop in. So first things first, you want to undo underneath the wipers, the little covers. There's a 13mm bolt, which I've already undone to save a bit of time. Then you have to give them a bit of a rag. Then they should, if they want to play ball, come off. Once you've got your wipers off, you click some tabs, you push down from the window screen, then you should be able to pull up and get rid of the scuttle panel. You've got a little washer jet hose, but this one snapped, so I'll just be replacing the little rubber hose. You can get this out of the way, then you can see what's behind your scuttle panel. So over to the scuttle panel, and it's nowhere near as daunting in here as the Clio one, with all the climate control modules and heater box, etc. I mean, down here you got your washer bottle, screen wash. I've unplugged that. You've got your main loom to your dash, which goes through the firewall, which I'm going to have to adapt because this is round and the one we've got off the Clio is square. But if you start pulling, well, I'll get a little pry tool on that. Over here, you've got your heater box. So I'm going to unplug that. It's a little pull tab by the look of it. When I'm two-handed, perhaps. You've got a 10mm earth here. That's for, these are your indicator looms. I'll pull this one down here so I can get it. There we go. This is your wiper motor. We have to change this for the Clio one, so it should be plug and play. But apart from that, that is pretty much it. I don't know what goes on behind the dash because I've not got there yet, but I know what happened behind the Clio dash, and I didn't film that because it would have been not for anybody's viewing pleasure, because it wasn't exactly the most I don't know what to say. It was brutal to say the least. It's a bit like Apocalypto. There's lots of cutting and chopping, and you probably guessed the rest. So I'm just going to rag around on this. Something to pull it through. It's like a waterproof condom thing. Perhaps that might be one to pull out from inside the van. So yeah, not too much in here. This is that broken washer hose that I was on about. So we just replace that to the scuttle panel and it should be jobs are good. And then you've got another indicator loom, which is this one here. So literally nowhere near as much going on in the scuttle panel of the van as there is the Clio. So I'll take that as a win. And here is our Clio loom. And this is the engine bay loom. It's not the engine loom, it is the body control loom. So this is the big square box. Obviously the one on the van's that one I've just been ragging at with the condom thing I was on about. So that goes through the firewall and it's square, so I might have to get the die grinder out. This is your fuse box for the Clio. Over here, the headlights and earths. So we've got to adapt the loom from the Kangoo because the plugs are different. I don't know what that is off the top of my head. I know this is your ABS. So that goes to the big ABS pump we've just fitted. And I hazard a guess, this is the heater. And there's more wires on here than there is the Kangoo one. So I'm gonna have to get creative with that one and find out what's going on. Because I think it's black, yellow, green and brown on the Kangoo. And this is 2 blacks, orange, green, 2 reds, yellow and a pink. Lovely. Right, we're going to undo a 10mm here, which is your earth for your lights. That's the first one. I know it's a 13mm for the same thing on the Clio, so get rid of that. I'll put that 10mm back in there in case it might come useful. So this is your light loom, and I did manage to pull the condom thing out expecting it to be some sort of plug, but it wasn't, so that was sort of heartbreaking. Another 10mm here. This is inside the scuttle panel on the driver's side. Or if you're non-UK, passenger side. I don't remember undoing any of these on the Clio, but you never know. So that's free, and just put the bolt back in just in case. So all this is free apart from that side. Right, van's up in the air. We're going to take the wheel off because we need to access up behind the wing to try and remove the light looms and the indicator looms, and they're up behind the arch liner. I'm missing one of these bolts. I don't know where it is, but I need to get some new ones, that's for sure. Ooh, shiny. Right, there's a T20 Torx here. I might have a bit handy. So we'll undo this. Hopefully we can pull it that way because these clips are nasty. They're like a big round clip that push in and hold things into place, and they usually snap, which isn't good. Yeah, and that's not going to happen. So I'm going to take our little pry tool up behind these plastic clips, and off she pops. That's 2. Like so. Even with them out, they're still a pain in the arse to get out. And there's one towards the front. Come on. This one's going to be a breaker, I reckon. It's all stretchy. Come on. That it. I mean, just a little rubber clip, like, well, you've got to try and, yeah, it snapped off. So try and get the arch liner down. Any more for any more. You never know with these Renaults. There's another one here. I did put that one back in myself, so that should come out. Just like that. Just like a couple of clips up here, and you can pull the loom down. Indicator. It's a twist. And this is the only part of the loom you're really going to save. You don't need the indicator one because it's already on the Clio loom. But these plugs here, that might be plug and play, but that one certainly isn't. And neither are these two. So this can be pulled up now. Can't feel it. Yes, I can. Pull it up out the top. Like so. Now for the other side. Same again, wheel off. Take off these clips. One. Two. One at the front. Three. And then there'll be one there, but that one broke. Then you've got your T20 Torx here at the bottom, the sill. I really need to address this damage because it catches the door and it's starting to rust. And rust is bad. You know what makes me laugh? They've got these arch liners in there to protect them from getting crud and stuff behind. But it's literally, it's the same on the other side as well. That's why I mention it now. There's like Black Rock Sands Beach. if anyone's missing a beach anywhere and the sand's gone missing, it's in my Kangoo, behind the wing. So please come and collect it, free of charge. I won't charge you for digging it out. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get this wing off to repair it anyway, but this wing needs a damn good clean out. Right, so that was all for the indicator to pop out because you can't get behind it, and that's a little twist and pull out. So this loom is all free now. So we know that we're not going to use any of this or the dash loom because we're going to be using the Clio dash loom, an interior loom, engine bay loom, engine loom, etc. So I'm just going to go ahead, save some time, and just cut this loom at the firewall and get it out of my way, because then I can pull it through, then figure out when we get the dash out how we're going to mount the Clio loom, and then we can button up, plug in all this sort of stuff in, sorting out the wiper motors, etc., and then we can start putting an engine in. Just giving this a snip. We can't throw this away yet because we're going to need some heater control wires, and we need to adapt the Clio loom to accept the plug for the heater controls. I mean, if we had a 172 cup interior loom, might have been a bit better because it'll have a similar control unit for the heaters. So that's that free. Winning. As we can see, that is our Clio loom and that is our Kangoo loom. There's quite a significant amount of wiring difference. So yeah, it's very minimalist, the van, to say the least, but this is replacing that. So let's get to it. Right, what we want to start with is what we know is what. So the most obvious, this goes through the firewall, is our main loom. So we're going to click this into place if it'll go. If I line it up properly and stop being an idiot. This should go in there with a bit of luck. Probably won't, it's not supposed to live here. I'm just being optimistic. But I might need to open this out a little bit with a die grinder because it's obviously a bit of a chunkier wiring loom. This lives in the fuse box. So this should go down here. I'm definitely going to have to get the die grinder out on this, I reckon. But anyway, that lives there. This is your indicator. So, is there a hole? Yes, there is. So this can go through the back of the wing here. Then you can pull it through. This is your fog lights, you don't need them. So this is going to go down there, and we're going to clip in the horn. If it'll go. I'm assuming that a lot of it will go, but assumption is the mother of all fuck ups apparently. So this runs across the front, I believe, of the Clio. Certainly does. So this can go down the back of here. Maybe up behind there, but we can get to that. There's a hole. There's a hole there, so I'm going to feed this through here. Then out of the same hole as the other side. Get this snake out of the way. Will these light looms go through here? Oh, it's going to be tight. going to be tight and they're through. So they live over here somewhere. Only has to be loose for now. That's lights. So this is ABS. So put them fuses in there. We're going to plug the ABS plug in. Or at least try. And that's got that. That plugs into the ABS. Then we've got our ABS sensor, which is going to go into here. What's that? Let's get this out of the way. This I believe is the wiper motor, but I'll double check. So we can plug ABS sensor in. Remember how it goes. Can only go one way, like so. So that's in there. What we got here? This goes across the firewall, I believe. It goes to the brake servo at the top. This goes to your other ABS sensor. Just trying to keep things simple, stupid, and worry about the difficult stuff afterwards. And where we put our riv nut in the side here, we have a nut, a bolt, sorry, that's going to go through there. I picked up an M6, it's supposed to be an M8, but at least we know where that lives. This points underneath the car. This is for your rear ABS. I've probably got it all tangled up and stuff. I don't actually know where it goes, but just trying to figure it out. I tell you what I'll do. I'll look at the silver Clio and be a clever bastard and look how it goes on there. So after much deliberation with myself, going backwards and forwards to the YouTube Clio, I wasn't far off. I mean, it's not exactly the same, but all this lines up and this sort of outer main loom is in situ. All the ABS is all wired in. I've put my earth in over there, which is the M8. I've fed the looms round for the lights, etc. It's pretty much plug and play, and it's easy to figure out where things go. You know where they come off on the Clio, and you sort of got an idea where they're going to go on here. If there's earths, there might not be the exact earth you've took off the Clio, but if there's somewhere you can stick an earth to, just do it. Just bolt it. Simple, stupid, anywhere you can. Passenger side, I figured that the indicator or the side repeater for the wing is not quite long enough. On the actual Kangoo loom, it goes through the top of the scuttle panel, but on the Clio, it's obviously further forward and it comes out down by the front of the fuse box. So I might have to, there's two wires, the pink and the black. I might just have to join a couple of wires so I could just tuck it in nicely behind the wing, but it's not really hard. The driver side went in exactly how it should, and everything is pretty much buttoned up in here. I mean, I'm quite confident I could drop an engine in here now. But the scuttle panel, a few things are not quite the same. I'm going to change the wiper motor, so that'll be the Clio one on the actual frame of the Kangoo. But apart from that, it's not far off. I'm going to go and get the engine loom now off the YouTube Clio, and I'm going to put it in situ because then all this section is pretty much buttoned up.
Through the wounds of my soul, say again, no room for this haunting. Advantage got me cruising it on. All the roof and the pain that it causing. They ran through with the food that they owe.
Right, so over to the Clio, and this is the fuse box, and there's 4 fuses that need to come off. They're all lives that go to the main car loom, so you want to be lifting these out. Try not to break them, they can be quite stiff. Try not to stab yourself as well, because that's not fun. You try and get these fuses out so you can get the little pull tab to remove the red, the green, the black and the white. I know that one of these on that engine, well, on that loom, on the Kangoo now, is orange, but it shouldn't make much of a difference, to be honest. I've got a 182 engine loom running my 172, so you get a picky tool up behind. Don't know if you can see that. You need to slide that out like so, then just put your fuse back in, and it's the same for the other 3 as well. Should have WD-40'd them a bit, but it is what it is. You could try and get down the back of here, but it's just a bit tricky. This nice little flat screwdriver you need, and you just want to be separating these apart. And they are stiff, so down the back it's a little clip. You just want to try and pry the clip open if you can. Try not to snap them. That's why I say it's best to get the fuse out so you can actually see what you're doing. But they're always stiff. Come on. No, she don't want to go, so I'm going to have to get the fuse out. There we go. And there's a little clip here, and that needs to be pried out from the back. Like so. Winning. Put your fuse back in. Should have one more. That's gone in one. But still, the fuse refuses to let go. But there we have it. So this, undo this clip here. Come on. Everything's stiff. This is your engine harness. Just like that. Fuse box. I have plugged in the white plug. That was pretty much simple, stupid. Then you've got your red fuse at the back, so the red holder. Then you've got the green at the front, then a black, then there should have been a white if it is a 172, but on this one, it's orange. And it doesn't quite sit on the fuse board all that good, but needs must. It is what it is. That's what was on the 182, and that's now what's on here. This sort of flaps around because it doesn't sort of clip onto this fuse box, but it's not entirely different, but expect it to be different. That's the main thing. It's mostly Clio, but it's not quite the same, so don't panic too much about it. Just get it the best you can and as tidy as you can. Just use some cable ties, etc., and button it up that way. So if you put your fuse box cover on, it's not really in your face anymore. It's not unsightly. It doesn't look sort of out of place, but it is what it is. Here, we're going to do a battery relocation and we're going to put it in, well, I can't really say the boot because it's a pretty bloody big boot. It's a van. So it's going to go in the back, out the way. So we're going to run a cable through the bulkhead and down the side of the passenger side of the car or the van and out towards the back. So this is going to go to a little junction box. Then it's going to go to the alternator and the starter motor. And jobs are good in. So you can remove this old battery earth now because the Clio loom has one built in. Or does it? Or am I being an idiot? No, that is that power? No, that's your earth. So there's a power one somewhere. That's starter. Oh yeah, what's down here? No, that's the same thing. Either way, there's a power one somewhere amongst this massive nest of wires, and I'll figure it out shortly. Wiper motor, 13mm in the middle for the gear. I'll get that off. Right, so we've now fitted the Clio windscreen wiper motor. We've used the Clio bolts so everything fits, the T30 Torx. Because the wiper motor's over here and not centrally, need to extend the wires from the plug, which is over on the passenger side, and there's about 500 or 600 mil of wires to do, which is a beige, a grey, a green and a black. So if we solder them colour wires in and extend it, it'll marry up to here. Also with the heater speeds as well, we've isolated the earth, got a battery, put some power to it and found out what speeds they are, but we still need to figure out the actual Clio loom side, which is climate control, and there's quite a lot more wires. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, there's 8 wires, so there's double what is on the Kangoo. So we need to figure that out. Right, so what we're doing now is we need to get to the fuel pump, and that is hidden under this nice wooden floor. We don't have to rip the whole floor up, but if we damage it, it's all going to come out and get redone again. So under this side, if it's the same as a Clio, it should be over here, which I believe is exactly the same. But I know that the fuel senders are different. So I'm going to pull this floor up and expose the fuel pump. We need to run the loom through here.
Gang shit, never moving with caution. Too damn sick, no one's human my role. Bandwidth, EQ and distortion. Bandage through the wounds of my soul. Say again, no room for this haunting. Vantage got me cruising at home. All the roof and the pain that it causing. They ran through with the food that they own. Gang shit, never moving with caution. Too damn sick, no one's human my role. Bandwidth, EQ and distortion. Bandage through the wounds of my soul. Say again, no room for this haunting. Vantage got me cruising at home. All the roof and the pain that it causing. They ran through with the food that they own. They can never roll in my path, nothing like a stroll in the park. Never seen light straight thrown in the dark. Ever gleam bright with this token of art. Forever dream, evergreen, even if the oceans apart. Set levels when the soul are enhanced. Get set on how we roll in the R's. Jet set to me owning my path. Gang shit, never moving with caution. Too damn sick, no one's human my role. Bandwidth, EQ and distortion. Bandage through the wounds of my soul. Say again, no room for this haunting. Vantage got me.
Fucking bad day at the office today. Started doing some more of the fueling and my microphone switched off, so all that footage is mute, which is helpful. Nice. But another thing, the fuel pump or the fuel sender on the van is completely different and different fittings on there than anything I've ever seen from a Renault. And after trying to get it off, hook or by crook, they snapped, which was shit. But then I managed to get one of the barb fittings out, so what sends the fuel to the car or the front of the engine. I'm just waffling on because I'm a little bit on the frustrated and pissed off side. Anyway, I managed to get the barb out. Then I tried a Clio fuel sender, fuel pump, and it stuck on there. The barb fitting did, then it fucking snapped off again. Great stuff. So I'm just going to rip the lot out. I'm going to turn you around now and show you what I'm on about. So first and foremost, we managed to rag the flooring up without any damage, which is a win. Then you've got the fuel sender cover, which has got 3 T20 Torx in there. And these are the barb fittings. I've never seen any of this type in my life. They're definitely not the same as the Clio or any other Renault ones I've had, where you've got like a squeeze fit, black plug, and you squeeze the sides and then they pop off. These bastards, they stay on, they go on, then they stay on. And as you can see, that snapped off. I managed to get this one off. Then I tried a Clio fuel sender in there, then it stuck on that, then snapped that one off. So I've got to modify my fuel sender, because here's the Kangoo fuel sender, and there is your return, which is snapped off. And obviously now I figured that the Clio hasn't got a return, so I've got to get creative with that. And I will try and find what I've done with the fuel sender. I think I put it in my van. So yeah, that fitting there has snapped off, but I need to get a return in there. My Turbo Clio, the Audi powered one, has got a phase 1 Renault Clio fuel sender, and that has an inlet and an outlet, so it's got a fuel return on there, but they are like hen's teeth to get hold of and sort of quite expensive now if you can manage to find one. And with plenty of scammers on the prowl, I don't want to be prey, so hopefully one of my homies in the Renault world will have one, and I don't mind sending them money. And if one of my Renault homies doesn't have a Clio 172 phase 1 fuel sender, I'm going to have to modify the phase 2 Clio one and add some barb fittings and then just Jubilee clip them on, because these push on clips, they're a fucking nightmare, and they're almost becoming on my shit list, including circlips and various other bits and bobs. I haven't got the patience to mess around, so I pretty much had a dead day, and that is no help to you or me. But I figured other things as well while I've been trying to conjure a plan together. I looked at the loom for the Clio, which is going to go through the bulkhead, and that is not going to go through the original hole even if I modify it, because of the way that the loom comes out of the plug. It will foul the firewall and not sit properly. So I've got to cut another hole, then I'll make a blanking plate to go on the other one. I'm not welding anything up, it's pointless, it's more effort for nothing. So yeah, great day. So this is what I'm on about. That's where the main loom from the front and the fuse box etc goes in, and I cannot physically push this up there without causing some damage. So I might have to cut a square out here, then just make a blanking panel which goes over that, which isn't hard. I'm a fabricator after all, but I'll show you how to do that. I need to get the dash out. I'm getting frustrated with other stuff where I can be getting on with other things, so that is a lose-lose for now, and today has been a victory for defeat, but I'm not gonna go out without a fight. I'm gonna try and get some of the dash out. So dash, I know there's a 13mm bolt there and the same on the opposite side, and then there's a lot of exposed T20s. It doesn't look like rocket science to get this dash out, but I could be wrong because, as I said many a times, Renault do some weird shit and overcomplicate stuff. So I'm going to flip these speaker covers off. Some T20s there. I mean, this dash is rough as arseholes, so I'm not going to lie. Some T20s either side of the shifter sort of cowling. But I was going to get into it and see if I could pull the dash out. Wish me luck.
Bonjour, Mr. Duplity. Ça va? Oui, ça va bien, merci. Et vous? Ah, oui, ça va bien, merci.
I don't know what's stopping this coming out now. I've undone as many T20s as I can find. Undone the 13mm, there's like 4 of them. And it seems pretty loose, but as easy as it looks like it's going to come apart. Again, there's some fuckery going on behind the scenes, and it's held in with voodoo and lost souls or something, because all that's loose. This is all loose, sort of, but I can't see what else can unbolt really. I mean, it looks like it's going to fall off the other end, so it's going to have to just keep plugging away, and hopefully it'll fall out on its own accord. The next day, and it's quite windy and cold, but I had to step away from the van and try and conjure up another action plan, because everything I seemed to think was going to work clearly doesn't. As you can probably see, the microphone's got the rat fluff on because it's quite windy out here, so if you're wondering what that is what it is. So hopefully you can hear me better and it's not blustery and too blowy. I've managed to get the dash out. I mean, I went a bit gung-ho on it, but I'll come back today and try to figure out what was going on. So I dropped the column from all 4 13mm bolts. You see me undo 2 underneath the column, and there's 2 more. Everything that I've talked about for the fueling side of things, the fueling lines, scrap that, because I've come up with a better solution. Only because the way I was planning on doing it doesn't work, and as I said, I am not going to hide things when I fuck something up. I'm going to be truthful and honest, and I'm always going to find a solution, because I'm a bit of a think tank when it comes to this sort of stuff. So we have a solution. The way that we was going to do the 2 pipes coming off the fuel sender is not going to work. One is definitely going to be a fuel, like from tank to fuel rail, but the breather to the charcoal canister, scrap that. We're not going to go that route. And what we're going to do is going to tap in to the fuel filler, because we need a vent, and this tank does not have a petrol vapor vent. So we're going to create one, but that's not yet. So we're going to, I buggered up my replacement pump, so I'm going to have to rip the one out of the YouTube car. And also a little follow-up on the YouTube car, the Clio 172 we bought off I'm Stokesy. I've actually got paperwork now. It's took a lot of time, but I've actually got paperwork, and it's come with a salvage title. It sounds very American, doesn't it? But the V5 has come. It's in my name, so I own the car now, and it's got a salvage title and it says the car was not viable to repair or some bollocks, I don't know. And that's not up to them to decide, that's up to the person who owns the car to decide, but it is what it is. Turned out that way anyway. But let's get into it and have a look what's going on in the van. As you can see, our dash is now free. It's still got a lot of wiring, etc. behind that we need to get out. We've got this sort of, I don't know, sound deadening or whatever it is. This needs to be removed because we're going to be cutting a section into here, this bulkhead behind the dash for the Clio loom to mount up. There's all fuse boxes at the bottom where a glove box would be on the Clio. There's a shit ton of wiring going there. We need to change the door looms. Yeah, there's quite a bit to get on with. As you see, we've dropped the steering column, and we need to get rid of all this wiring and stuff and swap it all out for the Clio one. So let's get to it.
Going up, up, don't look down.
You can sort of see where we're going with this. There's no love lost with this loom, as we're going to change it all. So I'm just snipping everything out and then yoink, getting rid of it, and then finding out where we can put our Clio loom. I'm going to get a T30 now. I'm going to try and undo the airbag on the steering wheel if I can. The gun won't get in there. So at the back of the steering wheel there should be two T30s, because the steering wheel needs to be removed because we need to pull this forward so we can get in behind it. Then if it's anything like a Clio, the actual steering wheel hub bolt should be a T50, I believe. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So there we have it. It was a bit of an ordeal, but we actually got the dash out. We cut the living shit out of all the wiring, as you saw. A lot of things are snags. You just got to fettle around, find out what's catching, and either chop it off or try and undo it somehow. But in the next episode, we're going to be progressing more with the interior wiring. In this episode, we got the engine bay, should I say, all buttoned up, wiring wise, and we need to start cutting the actual loom block for the interior to match up with the exterior looms. So thanks for watching. Hope you're enjoying this episode. Please like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. Adios.